It is time to talk about my reader profile. Hey there, Book Dragons. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I was tagged in one of these tags, and then I've got another tag that I saw, and I just really wanted to do that tag. So I'm doing two tags today. The first one is the reader profile tag. I saw this on BookBuds, and it was originally created by Hilary at Book Bustle. And I don't know if her channel is still active. I couldn't quite find it, but anyway, if you're still out there, Hilary, thank you for creating this tag. And then the second tag is the What If I Couldn't Acquire New Books tag. And I was tagged in that by Joe over at BookBuds, and it was created by at Bibliophile Reads. So I will link all of those channels down below. I'm going to get to that one after the reader profile tag because I'm not too happy thinking about not acquiring books. But anyway, we'll get to that, okay? So the first prompt is, what for you makes a good book? For me, this would be the characters. Sometimes if I'm reading a sci-fi book and it's got really awesome concepts, even if the characters aren't that great, I'll still probably enjoy it. But I really thrive on the characters. That's what makes a book for me, is really strong character development. So that's that one. What are you currently reading? I am currently reading The Lions of Al-Rasan by Guy Gavriel Kay. I'm also reading Bloody Rose by Nicholas Ames. And I'm also reading The Eye of the Bedlam Bride by Matt Dinneman. That's book 6 in Dungeon Crawler Carl. So yeah, I've got 3 books going. I don't know what that tells you about me as a reader, but at the very least it tells you I'm crazy. Prompt number 3. What's the last book you didn't finish and why? I don't remember the last book I DNF'd. I usually finish books I'm reading. Usually. Every once in a while, I'll find one that just isn't clicking with me. Oh, I know. It's The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. And I didn't completely DNF it. I'm still planning on finishing that book. But for right now, I've just put it back on the shelf, and I'm going to go back to it a later time. It just was a bit much for me when I started it. What obscure book do you wish other people would read? Oh, wow. There's several of these. I don't know if it would be considered obscure, but the Deathgate Cycle books by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman are definitely not loved as much as they should be, I think. So the first book in that series is Dragon Wing. I absolutely love that series. One of my favorites. It's the only book by them I've actually read so far. I haven't read Dragonlance. But yeah, so I would say that's probably a good book that is, I guess, kind of obscure, but it's a great read. What's the longest book you've ever read? Oh my goodness. I think it would have to be Shogun by James Clavell. Excellent book. It was my favorite book of 2025, we'll put it that way, but it was a chunker. I read it in 2 months. I read half 1 month and half the next month. I'm glad I did that because it was a lot, but it was such a great read. If you could have a dinner party with 5 fictional characters, who would they be? Oh my goodness. Wow. Princess Donut from Dungeon Crawler Carl. Absolutely. She's got to be there. Harry Dresden. Got to have Harry there. Have to make sure that there's no electronics used in the dining room and everything like that, because, Harry would just mess that up. We'll have a candlelit dinner for Harry. How's that? I think it would be interesting to have Lucy for dinner. Lucy from The House on the Cerulean Sea. That would be entertaining, to say the least. And I would love to have The Fool from the Realm of the Elderlings as well. I think it would be awesome to have The Fool for dinner. And I'll just do a random pick here as well from the Deathgate cycle, because why not? I just mentioned it. And that would be Haplo from the Deathgate cycle. I think it would be cool to have him and see what kind of mix that brings to the dinner table, right? All right, prompt number 7. 5 books you'd want if stranded on a desert island. Oh, goodness. And this kind of plays into the next prompt, so we'll talk a little bit more about that, but oh wow, 5 books. They'd probably have to be standalones because I don't want a series. Ooh. House in the Cerulean Sea could be a standalone. I'd probably be okay with that one. And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. And also, I think The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie would be a good one. So I could have 2 Agatha Christies. And then both The Night Circus and The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I guess those are my 5 books, and I'm going to have to make do with those. I don't know how I'm going to deal with 5 guys, but I'll just have to make do. But yeah, Erin Morgenstern's one of my favorite authors. I got to have both of her amazing books, and if she writes more amazing books, which I'm sure she will, I'll have to figure something else out then, I guess. Maybe I'll have to do this again and see if it changes. All right, prompt number 8. 1 book you could not put down. Oh, there's so many books, guys, that I can't put down. I will say that The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle, I read in the span of like 6 hours. Granted, it's a novella, but normally a novella would take me at least a day. I read that book in 6 hours, so we'll go with that one. Prompt number 9. 5 books or authors you will never read. Oh, I don't know about never. I'm not really too into Pierce Brown. So he's definitely an author I'll probably never read again. Like I said, it's hard to say never. Of the ones I can think of off the top of my head, I think Pierce Brown is the only one that I will probably never read. So I'm going to go with that one, I guess. And we'll move on to the last one here. Prompt number 10, if you were to write a book, what would it be about? Well, I have written books. I've written 2 books, actually. Talendor's Guest and The Nomad's Crucible. I'll put them up here. If you want to check them out, you can. They're both fantasy. One is more of a traditional fantasy. Talendor's Guest is more traditional fantasy with kind of a Canterbury Tales design to it. And then The Nomad's Crucible is a full novel, sci-fantasy novel. So, yeah, I have written books, so we'll just go with that. So now we move on to the next question, and I don't like this one. This would probably work if I was stuck on a deserted island, because I couldn't acquire new books at that point. Unless Amazon delivers to the deserted island, but then it wouldn't really be deserted because, everybody would know where I am some way through Amazon, right? So it's just not a question. But what if I couldn't acquire books? Oh my goodness, I can't, I don't know. The first one is, if you could never acquire another book again, how long do you think your current library would last you? Well, I think it would last me a good year, probably. So that depends, because I have a ton of books on my Kobo. So yeah, no, it would last me several years, actually. And then if I still couldn't acquire other books, I would just be rereading all the time, I guess. So yeah, I could get away with several years of reading before I'd have to figure something out from there. Prompt number 2, what book do you own that you would first give attention to? Oh, boy, really? I think I would probably try and tackle the third Malazan book. That is Memories of Ice by Steven Erikson. So yeah, I'd probably try and tackle that one, since I've been wanting to get back to that and give it another shot at some point. What book would you regret not owning? Well, that's hard to say, because if I couldn't acquire new books, would I be torturing myself by looking at new books? That would kind of defeat the purpose, but what would I regret not owning? I can't really say, because I own a lot of books already, so would I regret not owning one if I can't acquire more? I don't know. Sorry, I got no answer for that, guys. Prompt number 4, would you miss discovering new books, or would you enjoy rediscovering what you already have? Yes and yes. I would definitely miss discovering new books. I would. There's just no happiness there if I can't discover new books, to me. But, I would also enjoy rediscovering some favorite reads, some books I've read before that I gain new insights from on a second read or a third read or whatever. So, yeah, the answer to both of those is yes. But I would definitely miss finding new books. Oh my goodness, I couldn't do it. Prompt number 5, how would you handle seeing people talk about amazing new books you couldn't get? Oh, well, guys, I would have to stop watching BookTube. I mean, I would be so mad. I would be like, no, you can't do this to me. That book sounds so good, and yet I can't buy it. And I can't, I'm assuming this means I couldn't even get it from the library, because it says I can't acquire new books. So library counts as acquisitions, right? So, or maybe there's a loophole. Maybe there is a loophole and I could still borrow it from the library. Probably not, but I'm going to go with that possibility. But yeah, I would not be a happy camper if I saw people talking about amazing books and I couldn't get them or read them. And then prompt number 6, would bookstores still be enjoyable if you couldn't buy anything? Oh, no, I don't think so. I would probably just have to go to the coffee shop all the time and just never go to a bookstore. That would be really sad. Okay, I'm getting depressed doing this one, so I'm just going to stop. That is the final prompt, luckily. And I would love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on some of these prompts. What would you do with some of those questions, especially the ones where it's related to not being able to acquire new books? I would love to hear your thoughts on that, because that is just absolutely crazy. I don't know how anyone could do that who's a book lover. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to watch more of my content, check out the cards here on the end screen. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you read more books. I'll talk to you soon.